that noise? Oh my God, you should see the maneuvers they got going today. Holy shit. So I get to meet my new doctor today. And I want to give a call out to the great Vincent Hansen, who's retired. He's literally saved my life. I was in that room right there, given 2 months to live over 10 years ago. So can you imagine one of the world-class heart units here? So this is a good timing for this video, but I'm like, think about it. There they go. They fly right over the hospital, and you got to be at top of your game, holding a patient's heart in your hand for hours, literally. Oh, I know. I had open heart surgery in here 4 years ago. I saw the worst doctors in the world here just 10 years ago, who really did everything in their power to kill me. Emergency room doctors, including out at, just 5 years ago, out at Ogden Regional, worst doctors in the world, to the best doctors in the world. And I mean, that literally saved my life. You know, the ER doctor, Dr. Blanche, he says to me, so, you know, the legendary heart surgeon, the king, is my relative, Dr. Blanche, Vincent Hansen's old partner, who literally saved my life from the grave. He was always mad at me because I was such a wild kid there. And I remember telling Dr. Connors, God, I hope I was nice to you when you was a kid. He says, you better hope you were nice to me. I'm going to hold your heart in my hand for 5-6 hours. He made me sweat it out. No, you were always respectful and nice to me, because I used to coach youth athletics, and I used to always say, always make sure you're nice to the children, because these kids, these young men and women, they grow up to be men and women, and your life may be in their hands. So the first pig, genetically pig. So I got to tell this story. It's such a cool story. So when I was young, I was an honor student. I was so out of control. Graduated at Weber High, 698 in a class 6. Thomas More himself, the philanthropist married in the Brownie era, kicked me out of school. I mean, not like I didn't deserve it, but whatever. Songer, the art guy, who I ended up being an honors art student at Weber State at 16, kicked me out, and then had me come design and do his art studio. The same guy that kicked me out of high school. So I was one of those. You know, Assy Burger on Balco. So my uncle knew of my mind and says, well, I think you should be a doctor. Yeah. So I got to see one of the very first open heart surgeries at the University of Utah. I got to watch him do it. And I got to be one of those students that got to watch way back. And we're talking in the fucking 70s when they were cutting edge and new. I remember telling people that day, they're never doing that to me. I will fucking die before I let them do that to me. As you know, I had a central line in my jugular vein given 2 months to live 10 years ago. Wartmark valve. I had a... Thomas, when I was a kid, used to always say, this is one of the most famous surgeons in the world. Do never let them open you unless you're going to die, Kevin. And this is a guy who was pissed at me all the time. I'm like, I could fill it in there. Yeah, you're born with that heart, but just gut it out. Toughen up. You're fine. Shut up. You're fine. Go along. The technology will change. It won't be as intrusive. So when I collapsed, I went to the Ogden Regional Medical Center, and a guy named Michael Hawkins told me to go see my dentist, and I collapsed on Easter Sunday. I don't know how I got here. Walked in the emergency room, and the kid working there, he says, Dr. Blanche. I was a student professor years ago at Weber State. He says, you're the best professor. I said, you're a doctor? Yeah. So he got me to Colorado, get in a wheelchair. The girl who did the ultrasound on me is a juvenile leukemia survivor that I knew through the survival group. What's the odds? Anyway, get in a wheelchair, your valves completely collapse. So they got new technology and go through the groin or whatever. And I remember Dr. Connor says, I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these. He says, I'm going to do it the old way. We know it works. I'm going to split you open. Made me sweat it out for 5 days. I wish they just threw me in there right there and did it. Remember, he came in my room the next morning. He says, well, it's better than being dead, ain't it? And I says, not that much. I was being attacked by trolls. I remember the collection department here for my cancer freaking thing was calling me while I was in there very, you don't even want to get, I saw the worst of the worst here. The worst doctors in the world right here. misdiagnosed my cancer. Thomas Carr, Vincent Hansen stepped in. I'm a red 10. Celeste at the East 8 Bone Marrow Transplant LDS told me, Kevin, I've been here for 26 years. You're the only red 10 I've ever seen walk out of here. Thimble Peterson, because he's an anti-nuker. Vincent Hansen, they don't take 51-year-old guys with AML to new. My marker was 44, which is important because it's Bernard DeVoto's birthday today. He wrote 44. Well, I had a dream. My dad died of this disease on this day. So they've done the first pig transplant, genetic. Whoa. So I remember telling Dr. Collado, I'm going to my daughter's wedding in Italy. If I can hike to the top of the Duomo in Italy with this heart, because I went into AFib, they go down your throat and they shock you. Oh, he did that to me a few times. You don't want that done. They wanted to put a pacemaker. Dr. Connor said, no, you just keep walking. You keep doing. You'll straighten out. So I went to Europe, dancing the training sea. You see my gypsy. I'm going back to the end. Here I am. But can you imagine these freaking F-35s, these material. Oh, the sound of freedom. No, it's the opposite of the sound of freedom. One of them's in China. Remember the Japanese pilot? Can you imagine? They fly them all day, all night, and you're in there, you're a heart surgeon and all of a sudden this plane. Right before they butcher you, they put you in the butcher shop. All the butchers are standing around there. There's about 10 of them. Right before they put the thing on, they're like, sign this. What's this? X amount of people don't come on. No shit. So I want to say thank you to all these. You don't think things can change. Worst doctors in the world, and I saw them right here, to the best in the world. So I get to meet my new one today. I wanted to do this today because my dad died on this day, and it's Bernard DeVoto's birthday today. Across the wide Missouri. Whoa. He wrote 44. I had a dream. My marker was 44. They say over 24 they won't even trade. I'm the first one to make it 10 years willingly with a marker that high of ML de novo. It was tumors that wrapped around my lower bowel. Very hard diagnosed. Vincent figured it out. I get to meet my new doctors today. I get 2 new doctors. He's retired. Thank you, Thomas, from the grave. Don't let him open you, Kevin, ever, because a guy named Vakari here wanted to gut me and cut out my guts, and I refused that surgery. And so if you'd had that surgery, you'd be dead within 24 hours. They had it wrong. They had it dead wrong. I found a video on YouTube, 14 views. It was a doctor, pathologist from Cedars-Sinai. He says, I think the pathologist got it wrong. Silverman had it wrong. I've never had one wrong in my life, he said. I said, what about being tumors? Leukemia tumors, that can happen. I knew about it, my path, my thing. I said, they're going to gut. I said, you're not gutting me. Don't let them open you unless you're going to die. And I refused the surgery. Thank God. I got the chemo, I got the mushroom root, and I was an experiment. Bimbo comes into my room. I was so sick. 119 at the top of LDS State. I can buy you 2 or 3 years of life, Kevin. Almost guarantee it, or we can gamble. It's a long shot. And you might live to be an old man. But it's a long shot. I says, all in. All in. Now we know I'm in the 1%. I'm in the 1% study. We know the number one common denominator to 1%ers is twofold. Risk takers. And we're the only one crazy. Gamblers are the only one crazy enough to think they can. And good with numbers. You stay inside. 44. I had a dream. The intuitive mind. So the new heart from a pig. Big deal. Whoa, whoa, whoa. My grandson comes in the room because they used a bovine. I had my organ valve replaced. So my little smart-ass grandson, because he's smart enough to know, just a little guy. His dad told him, no, he didn't use a pig. They used a cow. So he came in my room, and I was so sick, and first thing he walks in, he goes, moo, moo. Can you imagine these planes flying overhead all day, every day, while they're holding hearts in their hand? It's abusive. I remember when noise pollution used to be a thing around here. Fuck the military industrialized complex. Stay tuned.